I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Yeah, for sure. So you're down in Florida now. Just talk about how this all came together. I think for a lot of the racing people around here, they're familiar with your name. And you're a junior at NDSU right now, and you get to go race on the Daytona Speedway. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a dream come true, really. Ever since I was a kid, I started racing at 8 years old, and I feel like every kid's dream when they're that young, they have a passion and they want to follow it and make it a career when they're older. And I hope this works out in the future and keeps on going.
And how cool is it? Here you are, a junior at NDSU, and the school that you're going to is sponsoring your car. And is this a first? This has got to be pretty unique, right?
Yeah, it's pretty rare and unique for a university to sponsor a race car like this, but also not many race car drivers are going to school. It's rare that you have a full-time student chasing after a dream like this for a racing career.
And to be doing that at your age, because the Arca Menard series, when I first started watching NASCAR, and I think for a lot of us in the late 90s, this is kind of the equivalent to the old Busch series, right? Where it's that Saturday race that usually comes about, and it's the way to climb up the ladder to get in the big leagues, right?
Yeah, it's a learning development stage in the NASCAR world, and drivers trying to make a name for themselves and move on forward in their career kind of start here in the Arca Menard series.
That's really cool. And you got, going early, because we do so much work here at the radio stations, as you know, with the Red River Valley Speedway and Buffalo River Speedway. And, you got it as early as the old Red River Kart Club going on, right, too? I mean, this is something that Corey Linton always used to brag about with us here on KFGO.
Yeah, that's where it all started, was Red River Kart Club.
Wow.
That really pushed my passion for racing. My dad took us there one random Monday night, and we watched, and I told him I wanted to give that a try, and here we are.
That is amazing. How did you get hooked up to jump all the way up to the Arca Menard series already? I mean, just with some of your success, that's pretty amazing. You've kind of you've really worked your way up the ladder here quickly.
Yeah, part of the process to get into the NASCAR world is Daytona International Speedway hosts a kind of a test in mid-January every single year for new drivers and up and coming drivers. It gives them an opportunity to go to Daytona and test for 2 days, and that kind of involves a NASCAR approval process. And I was given the opportunity to go down there and drive a car, and we did this test in January 4 years ago, I believe now, and I was approved from NASCAR to race, and we've tried to pick off a few ARCA races as much as we can every year.
Well, that is amazing. And so how did this come about? Because when it comes to this, you get accepted. Obviously, you need to get an owner, sponsors, all that. I'm sure it was a kind of a whirlwind to get all this together then, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot of partnership and sponsorship, and there's a lot of people involved every single race, and it's not just a season. It's every race that it takes a whole clan of partners to put it together. And I'm very grateful for NDSU and Brentco Corporation for allowing me to continue on this year and go back to Daytona.
Well, it's really cool. And I'm guessing, and there's no doubt, North Dakota State, they got to see I'm guessing that, if I'm sitting there as the basketball coaches or Coach Polisek, whatever, they can't be too unhappy about this. It really is a thing as far as recruiting for sports, and, of course, just for the administration, too, to recruit students, because I think it's safe to say that the success of the football and basketball team certainly has been able to get a lot of students to come to Fargo, and I'm guessing you're thinking you can do the same thing being on the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's especially going to Daytona with NDSU on the car is a major partner of mine. Daytona is the biggest stage in NASCAR, and the amount of people that are there in person and watching the race and that see the replays, it will reach a very, very wide range of people around the country.
Well, I think the one thing about it too is football's now over after the Super Bowl, and there's just a lot of the race fans. One thing about the Daytona 500 and this whole weekend that is right, because you got the Thursday night stuff to set up the everything that happens on Sunday, and then Saturday, which you're involved in. It's not just the race on Sunday; it's the whole weekend, and you get to be a part of it. So, and people are anxious for it. They haven't had it since November, for crying out loud.
Yeah, this whole week is extremely eye-opening. My first time at Daytona was when I was 18 years old, and I just graduated out of high school, right out of go-karts and sprint cars, and we walked into Daytona on that Wednesday in the middle of the week when it all kicks off, and it was eye-opening on how massive of a place it is and how many people there are, and just the atmosphere. It's the Daytona 500 weekend is the Super Bowl of racing.
No question. Well, it's been a pretty interesting time here for West Fargo people. I'm probably forgetting a few, but you think Matt Strawman in Major League Baseball, and here you got Tyler Rowe going to take a job. He's leaving Iowa State to go to the Lions, that's reported, and here we got a West Fargo native, going to be racing this weekend at the Daytona International Speedway. That's a pretty good company to keep, I think, for you.
Yeah, I would have never ever guessed this when I was a young kid, and it's just I have so many people in my life that I can't thank enough for getting to me where I am today. My dad, my mom, my grandparents. I have a brother that also goes to NDSU, and 2 sisters, and all my friends and family just push, and they give me so much support. And without that, I don't think you could do anything like this.
Well, it's amazing, and the car looks sharp. You got to be happy about what you're gonna. I mean, that's one thing. Let's just face it. The car is kind of how you develop fans, and that green and gold looks sharp. You got to be pretty proud of it.
I'm extremely proud of it. I know NDSU worked very hard with their marketing department designing the car, and what they turned around and showed me turned out amazing. And I think fans are really going to like it, and especially Bison Nation.
Bryce, congratulations. Have a great time this weekend. Be safe, and I can't wait to hear from you again. I might get a hold of you again when it's all said and done, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you for having me on here.